everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'll be sharing with you my experience doing the morning pages method of journaling. Now if you don't know anything about this sort of journaling, don't worry, I've got you covered. Similar to this, I had tried the Miracle Morning Routine for 7 days. So if you haven't watched that video, I will link it up right here, because if you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure you would enjoy that video as well if you haven't watched it. And trust me, that was life-changing. So let's dive deeper into the morning pages. So morning pages is a method devised by Julia Cameron in her book The Artist's Way. It's a very popular book. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to read it. Unlike Miracle Morning Pages is actually a very simple concept where you need to do free-flowing writing the first thing in the morning. Diving a bit deeper into the rules, number 1 is to use a physical journal and not any digital journal. Number 2, of course, this has to be done first thing in the morning. Number 3, you do need to fill out 3 complete letter size or A4 sheets without filtering your thoughts. That is the crux here. Everything of morning pages revolves around that big factor of not filtering out your thoughts and just keep writing no matter what. And the last rule is to not share it with anyone, okay? In fact, even you don't want to look back on those pages until after a few months. So now that you're clear of the rules and what morning pages actually mean, let's move on to day 1. Okay guys, so it's been a while since I finished day 1 of morning pages, and that's because I'm genuinely pleasantly surprised by the effects of it. Like day 1, I honestly didn't have much expectations because I thought, okay, it's just like normal journaling which I've been doing for so long, but it's not. It's so different when you are not filtering your thoughts. Mostly our thoughts jump from one thing to the other. For me, it's just like one thought, next thought, this, that. So when I used to journal normally, like, my thoughts, feelings about the day, it was very organized. But today when I woke up, just brushed my teeth, washed my face and started writing in this journal right here, I knew in the back of my head that I can't have any filter on. So whatever comes to my mind, I'm just going to jot it down. And the only struggle was that sometimes I felt like a couple of sentences or things I filtered out unknowingly, and then I would catch myself, oh Meghna, like, you thought of it, but why didn't you write that? There were a few moments like that, which is fine, I guess. That's normal, especially since I'm just starting out. But mostly it was a huge success because I could finish 3 pages. Initially, I thought 3 pages is going to be tough and that's going to take time, but actually it took me just 20 minutes. Not like brain dump, because that's also something I've done. You know, you have a lot of things in your head, you sort of brain dump what's happening. I don't know how to explain. Maybe it's the fact that I did it the first thing in the morning, or it's the fact that it was completely unfiltered, no judgment whatsoever. Because the direct result to this was that I got this idea of making this video from doing my first day of morning pages. I'm not even kidding. And then suddenly a lot of video ideas started popping into my head, which is crazy because I've been having this creative block for months and months. I don't know what's happening. I'm shook, guys. I just opened my Asana app, jotting down all these video ideas that I was getting after my morning pages session was done. I am in love with it. So honestly speaking, I was shooting that day 1 journaling bit that you saw for another vlog, and I never intended to make this video until on that day 1 of journaling. I literally got so many ideas, and one of the ideas being to make this video. So we have basically morning pages to thank for the morning pages video. I was really brought into a state of flow, which is the most you could ask out of any creative process. So needless to say, if this was my day 1, I was very excited for day 2. Okay guys, welcome to day 2 of the challenge. Now, unfortunately, I could not get the time to do it early in the morning because early in the morning I had to go for my workout, came back, there were other things to take care of, and I had to talk to my boyfriend who's in the US. I had to take my shower, and now finally I got that time to do my morning pages, and this is reality. So I just want to share it. Like, even though today I could not do it the first thing in the morning, I still want to do it. So I'm gonna do it right now and see how it goes. I had so many moments of just brain fog. I was just like, what do I write? What is happening? What am I thinking? I was just completely out of it. Like, my brain was jumping all across, but it was also so lost. And I really feel it's because I'm doing it in the afternoon and not the first thing in the morning. So I guess it does affect. Makes sense also. I mean, that's why the name or the term morning pages came. It was intended as a morning practice so that the first thing your brain can do is unload freely on paper. And I'd say it's not completely useless at all because you're still journaling, you're still putting all your thoughts randomly out on paper, so that helps. But having said that, I didn't find the same flow flow of thoughts that occurred yesterday. I felt like a creative burst happened when I was in that flow of just writing. Whereas today it was just unloading stuff, which I think is fine. You don't need to always have like one eureka moment every time you do morning pages. Tomorrow I'm gonna do it in the morning itself because my yoga class is at 9:30. So I do have extra morning time after I wake up at 7. So if you have a question, if you can do this practice later in the day, just no, don't do it. So I strongly urge you to just wake up slightly earlier than usual and finish this practice and then get on with your day. That way I feel you will be able to reap the benefits of this practice. So as I mentioned in the rules that you are supposed to fill in 3 pages of A4 or letter size sheets, which I wasn't aware of since I started doing morning pages after reading an article, which was really good by the way, but I don't think it went into the nitty-gritties. And that's when I thought, oh, you know, I'll make use of my SJ Merch notebook. I love what it says, bold lipstick, bolder thoughts. Of course, I didn't stick to that rule of A4 sheet and I just used this A5 notebook. But I think it's still interesting to see my experience with just filling in A5 sheets, as I know it can get overwhelming for some people to fill out 3 A4 sheets. But yeah, if you want to do it that proper way, I'd suggest even if you have an A5 notebook, you can just fill in more pages, say like 4 pages, 5 pages, whatever you want honestly. But for me in this video, for all 7 days, I've just been filling 3 sides of A5 sheets. So we're on day 4 and today, even though I had an 8:30 yoga class, I made sure I woke up 15 minutes earlier, so 6:45. I realized that's all the time I need to get my 3 pages in. So that was a success. Yesterday, even though I did it in the morning, I didn't do it the first thing in the morning because of bad habit of waking up and automatically checking my phone. Finally, when it came down to doing my morning pages, it wasn't anymore the first thing that I did in the morning. There were too many steps in between. But still, yesterday was fine. It wasn't amazing like day 1, but it was okay. Today, I made sure that I woke up, just had a sip of water, opened my book and started doing my journaling. I was actually talking to my sister yesterday and she has read The Artist's Way, and since she's read the book, she has done the morning pages and she knows in depth about it. So she actually helped me out by sending few pictures where there are some important points of morning pages. I will put the images on screen so you can pause and read if you're interested. But one of my takeaways was definitely that the author mentions there's a censor. That's something I constantly face. We all face it, right? Every time we're writing something, there's this person in your head, which is you of course, and they'll keep putting thoughts into your mind. They'll ask you to stop writing, they'll give you all this negative BS and it'll always try to distract you. So what the author says is to let it be and to just write no matter what. So even if your censor is saying I don't have anything to write, I don't have anything to write, you keep writing I don't have anything to write until you fill 3 pages. That's how important it is to keep writing. So yeah, let's see how day 5 turns out. Today I felt like I was more in tune with just writing whatever comes to my mind, like anything. It does not have to make sense. When we do standard journaling, we are normally filtering thoughts, we are making sure our grammar is correct, and we make sure that we finish that thought or whatever we are talking about and then move on to the next thought. Whereas in morning pages, this is something very different where literally in one sentence there could be a couple of thoughts that come into my brain and I just jot it down. And when I read the sentence, it really does not make sense. But that's what morning pages is supposed to be like. It's okay if it doesn't make sense to you or anyone else. I've stuck to that very nicely today. But yeah, when I was on the 2nd page and 3rd page, certain deeper thoughts came onto paper, which I'm very surprised because I thought I'm not thinking about those things, but apparently I am. I don't know. So yeah, let's see how day 6 and 7 go. Day 5 and 6 pretty much went the same way. In my case, I had to wake up 15 minutes earlier than my usual wake up, which was at 7 a.m. So I would start waking up at 6:40 or 6:45. And initially I thought I wouldn't want to wake up just 15 minutes earlier to journal. But honestly, I'm surprised, like it wasn't tough at all. And in fact, I started looking forward to my journaling sessions because of that silent quality time that I get with myself. I live with my family, so once it's 7:38, like everyone's waking up, doing their own thing, it's just much louder. And I'm sure many of you who live with your loved ones can probably relate to that. So that 15 minutes of solace was something I really started looking forward to. And here we are after finishing 7 days of morning pages. One major difference that I noticed between my regular journaling that I would do any time of the day whenever I'm feeling emotionally or mentally stressed versus doing morning pages has to be the fact that for normal journaling, there's a sort of structure that I give to it. A lot of that journaling became about venting out and also problem solving. And of course, that has its own benefits. But having said that, it was just so different to not have any structure, put in whatever you wanted on that piece of paper. It was somehow very freeing for me. I think that's what really propels you to get into that flow state and let your mind be, not pay heed to the distraction, to just silence that inner critic was so empowering. So yeah, I feel both sorts of journaling have their own purpose. In fact, I have done a video of different types of journaling. If you're interested, I will link it up here, because if you're here, I'm assuming you might also enjoy that video. Let's talk about the benefits I had while doing the morning pages exercise for 7 days. Number one, it helped with my creative block and improved my creativity. I feel there were just a lot more ideas coming to my brain naturally, which was always the case, but then because of the creative block, it just completely stopped and I wasn't enjoying making videos and I did not know what to make videos on. But hopefully now things would have changed. Number two, easier habit formation when it comes to journaling. Previous sort of journaling that I would do only if I felt like I would journal out my thoughts and feelings, because of which there was no set routine for me. I would go months without journaling, and then when things literally go bad in my head, that's when suddenly I remember, oh my god, I should have journaled. Let's journal it right now. So instead of getting to that point, I love that morning pages makes it part of your daily routine and not just evening or at night. And I would have never thought that journaling first thing in the morning would be so helpful. So I feel this is an easier way to stick to the habit of journaling. Number three, as I mentioned before, this was a very therapeutic, quality me time for me. Number four, it felt liberating to not listen to my inner critic and censor out anything. Number five, I think it did help me cope better with stress and anxiety. Funnily enough, that week was very stressful for me in terms of things happening around me in life that I don't necessarily have a lot of control over. I can only control my thoughts, my feelings, which I feel morning pages really help me in, which is why I'm choosing my words carefully. I'm not saying that I was stress-free and anxiety-free because of morning pages. I just genuinely feel it helped me cope better with my stressors. Now, I do want to leave you with some tips if you are planning to try morning pages. Number one, please make sure that you are using a very comfortable pen. Making sure you have a comfortable seat or corner. Make sure it's clean and doesn't affect your posture, because lesser the distractions, the better, right? Next thing is, of course, please do it first thing in the morning. Try minimizing the things that you do right after you wake up to the point you get to the journaling. Another tip is that in case you have this brain fart moment and you black out and you don't know what to write, because I definitely had those moments, what you're supposed to do is not stop writing. Just keep writing. I don't know what to write. I don't know what I'm thinking. Keep writing that again and again until, of course, your mind will pop with another thought, because that's what our beautiful mind does. The next tip I'd like to share is that even though ideally you should be filling out letter-sized pages, if that does seem overwhelming to you and you don't have that sort of time, but I'd still encourage you guys to do this practice like me in an A5 journal, because I did see benefits, and even though it may not be to the level of doing the actual letter-size A4 sheets, it's still something. So don't let the notion of not having enough time or it being too overwhelming stop you from actually doing this exercise, because trust me, it's at least worth a shot. Final tip which I really want to share, and that is to not have expectations. And I know that's counterintuitive to what I've been sharing throughout this entire video, but I also want to remind you that I started doing day one of morning pages without expectations. I wasn't even planning to shoot this challenge, and I think that's why day one was the most effective for me. So if you start morning pages and your day one does not look like my day one, please don't let that stop you from continuing with the practice. The more you go at it, the more likely you are to get into that flow. Let your true self be there, transparent, as authentic as possible on those pages. So yeah, those were my tips. Definitely want to read this book, maybe make a part 2 of this video and give you an updated review on how my morning pages went with A4 sheets and also with all that knowledge, because let's face it, it's quite different following steps after reading an article versus reading a book. So next time I want to make sure I know the whys, the whats, the whens, share with you all a more comprehensive approach to the morning pages. So I don't know, comment down below if you'd be interested in a part 2 maybe. I don't know when that would be, but just so that I know. Also comment down below if you would want to try out morning pages, if you have ever tried out morning pages, and if you've seen any difference. Do leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It really helps me, my channel out, understanding what you guys want to watch on my channel. So please make sure that the engagement is there if you're genuinely enjoying this video. And of course, subscribe for good vibes. Do hit on the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I do upload a new video. And I'd like to end this video by reading out an excerpt from the author's official website. The bedrock tool of a creative creative recovery is a daily practice called morning pages. Morning pages are 3 pages of longhand stream of consciousness writing done first thing in the morning. There is no wrong way to do morning pages. They are not high art. They are not even writing. They are about anything and everything that crosses your mind, and they are for your eyes only. Morning pages provoke, clarify, comfort, cajole, prioritize, and synchronize the day at hand. Do not overthink morning pages. Just put 3 pages of anything on the page and then do 3 more pages tomorrow.